Do you have a development department at Crawford's looking for the next?
Crawford's consists of myself, and this is absolutely truth. Myself, Don Samuelenic, who was my assistant when I was there, my export manager when I was there as sales manager in the 80s. He came out of editing. And we have Ben, who works in the post-production area because we've been digitising the library. And that is it. No support staff for the three of us.
Mean, lean, hungry?
Yes. Yes, very hungry.
Let me take you to another area of your expertise that I'm interested to ask you about. For a while, as you say, you were running Village Roadshow Studios.
Yep. No, I didn't run the studios.
I'm sorry, you and Michael Lake. Yep. The studios represented, and still do represent, a major portal for incoming productions, offshore productions. To what extent is that, what are the negatives and the positives for that for Australia?
Well, I suppose I go back from that to Crawford days, in that we started doing offshore production at Crawford's, which was a really difficult thing to achieve at Crawford's. Hector being so patriotic, but it was a necessity, you know, it was revenue. And we started that in the early 80s, sorry, that we started doing offshore material because it was cheaper to film here. And the skill base here was so high, you know, it was massively high.
So it was like jobbing.
Absolutely. Now, it could have been anywhere, but we had a highly skilled crew, highly skilled technical people, good acting base.
And you had the capacity, the production capacity.
We could do things efficiently, and it was a wonderful business. We didn't do a lot, but we did quite a bit, you know, usually for companies that we had a relationship for. I know we did a couple of telemovies that I don't think Michael's ever forgiven me for making him do, for Embassy in America, which was Jerry Perencio's company, Norman Lear and all those guys. You know, they were cheap productions, but good. So that was really the forerunner. And we did other bits and pieces. You know, when Michael and I left Crawford's, we had very nice consultants. I had a fantastic consultancy for Sam Chisholm, who was wonderful to me in those days, and I still count as a good mate. And for Michael Fuchs at HBO, we picked up those consultancies immediately. But then the writers' strike struck in America. And I got a phone call from Paramount, which was a connection made through Bruce, because I was selling to Bruce Gordon prior to that. And the head of production for Paramount rang me to see if we could shoot Mission Impossible in Australia. And I thought, sure, you know, why not? You know, we've got factories, you know, Brisbane, and I was thinking Brisbane at this stage. Yeah, you know, we've got industrial areas we could use, and, you know, thinking back to Mission Impossible. So we agreed to do it. And, you know, it was fantastic for Michael and I, and wonderful for Paramount. We shot another series of it in Melbourne. And then we shot a second series. Oh no, that's right, we were going to do Flipper anyhow. That's right, that's where Michael nearly killed me for this. We were going to do Flipper. And we'd agreed to do that at SeaWorld. And I got the phone call on the Saturday morning. Michael was down at Sorrento. And I got the phone call on the Saturday morning saying, could we do Mission Impossible? I said, yeah, sure, you know, we could organise that. And I rang Michael and told him, and I could hear him scream, not over the phone. Like I won't say what he said, but he said, you are... And I don't think he spoke to me for a week, and I was packing death that he was really serious. But thank God, you know, he's a wonderful production person, and he managed to pull it all together.
So that was a win-win for everybody, wasn't it?
Oh,
that
yeah.
series.
Yeah.
I mean, for Paramount, for you guys, for the Australian industry.
The crew and the directors.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the directors and things we used went back across to the States. Actors from here went to the States.
Any downsides to that kind of work?
It probably inflates the domestic crew rates a bit, but having someone like Mike Lake running your production, they don't get much more. You know, he's always been a pretty tough cookie in that area, and he's still doing it, you know, and doing it very well in Queensland. And when we went to Queensland, I remember that first meeting that Michael and I had with Wayne Goss, who was just a wonderful, wonderful guy as a human being, but also a good premier, totally accessible and really understood our business. And we said to Goss, he said, I want a Queensland film industry. He said, I really want a Queensland film industry. And we both said, to get that, you've got to have a film industry in Queensland. And he said, I understand that. We've got to bring foreign production in here and get the crews here and the staff here and build the infrastructure. And we said, exactly. He said, go and do it. How do we do it? What do you want? And that was the attitude, which was sensational.